It is, isn't it? Never really warmed up.
Should we, when we
Good.
pass these regular or special meetings, should we explain? Okay,
We're ready to go. We do.
That's one thing I was
They
gonna
can see it
add.
online.
It's posted and then the post, what the subject
So
matter
the
and all.
executive one, they can't see.
They can't get those, and there's no minutes taken. That's what,
We need it.
I'm gonna do this
But-
very
None of
Why?
us are.
and I
Because they're
don't know that we've ever, do we normally approve just the memorandum? Do we normally approve the, just the memorandum, the executive
You can
session?
recognize it.
Just recognize it, not
I know,
vote
but
to
just.
approve it?
Well, it's okay if you
It's
do.
okay, all right, okay. All right, y'all ready? All right, we'll call to order the October 15th, 2024 meeting of the New Harmony Town Council. We'll start by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, welcome, everyone. You call the roll,
Do a roll.
please?
Jeff Smotherman.
Here.
Fred Clark.
Here.
Ryan Weinzeppel.
Here.
Tom Williams.
Here.
Laura. Arnberg.
She's absent. She will not be joining via Zoom either, so. Okay, next up, first up, we'll have the approval of the regular meeting minutes of the date of 9/17/24. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion passes. Second, we have the approval of a special meeting of 9/23/24. Do I have a motion for approval of those minutes?
I so move.
Got a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Or
Aye.
discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, and then thirdly, we have a memorandum approval for an executive session for the subject of replacement for our superintendent of the town utilities person, superintendent. Do I have a motion for that approval?
I'll make that motion.
Motion a second.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, next, reported department heads. You want to start?
Sure.
All right.
I got a lot to talk about.
I know, we're
I wrote it down.
You're on
It's gonna go quick.
you're on the timer. So.
All right. I'll start with Murphy Park. So we got a new night sky style light fixture that's been installed on the new shelter. So it's not glary in everybody's face. Check it out if you're driving through there in the evening. We also got 2 replacement lights installed so far on the west end of the park on the path poles. We have 6 out on that end of the park. The electrician that had those lights was the guy that replaced the shelter light. He's going to be back and do the other 4. These are inexpensive lights that probably won't last more than a year and a half or 2, but the Parks Board is in the process of assessing future needs for the park, and one of them could be complete new lighting around the so we're glad to get this done, at least for this winter when it's going to start getting dark earlier. Also, 5 new trees were planted today by Ancient Fruits Native Nursery. More to come as we passed last month from Burr Oak Tree Service. I went by there this afternoon. They look great. September 27th was United Way's Day of Caring, and Parks Board member Jim Reese led 8 to 10 volunteers from Apex Engineering in installing about 200 new pickets around Playtopia. They stained the horizontal support boards as they went to match the new pickets, and the job looks really great. Very nice upgrade for that Playtopia part of the park. This has been a Harmony Associates sponsored project. Arbor Day program in the park is this Saturday, the 19th at 10 a.m. I'll read you the program. It starts with Welcome by Jeannie Maudlin, President of the New Harmony Parks and Recreation Tree Board. Then there will be a reading of the Arbor Day proclamation by our Town Board President, Jeff Smotherman. And then tree education, the Garden Club of New Harmony, Tamara Allison.
Gotta clear your throat.
Introduction of the 2024 Arbor Day tree will be introduced by Jeannie again. Ancient Roots Native Nursery, Donna Ray Woolston, owner, will be there to talk about planting the tree, which is going to be a, forgot to write it down, it's a Shumar oak tree. And then on to Children's Arbor Day programming by Ann Poulsman, our clerk treasurer. And then in conclusion, Jeannie's going to read a poem about trees called When I Am Among the Trees. Should be a really nice program if people want to show up for that. Check it out. On to town maintenance crew. They're going to be testing out their new box scraper on the River Trail gravel before this Saturday's RGRG sponsored 5K run. They want to see if they can improve it now that they've got this new piece of equipment. But there is going to be more gravel coming for future grooming to complete the job on that River Trail project.
I will tell you, I was down there today. They did that today.
They were
It
down there
got started
today.
anyway,
Yeah.
and it is much improved. It still
Great.
needs some work, but it is much improved, yes.
That's great. Also, Ancient Roots Native Nursery treatment of the unwanted saplings growing in our riverside riprap is going well. There has been a second treatment spraying and a third and final one to come. That's it.
Great.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot tonight. Wanted to mention that Anne has worked on trying to simplify our tree report form to make it a little bit more logical. I appreciate that. The goal is that'll be available online someday soon, hopefully. And then I have started to investigate best practices in lighting, and kind of along that is the Rod passed to me a piece of paper that was about Dye Brothers contracting with Centerpoint to replace fluorescent and incandescent lighting for small businesses, so that's open to all small businesses, and also not-for-profits and towns. So I met with Danny Boyle of Dye Brothers, I don't know when, last week one day, and he went around to all the town properties, Town Hall, sewage treatment plant, the old firehouse, and the big Butler building, the big barn down on 3rd Street. And I told him, you know, we needed this post haste, so he got on it quickly and turned in the information on all of the town buildings that I've mentioned, and came back with some astonishing assessments. Centerpoint is paying, in some cases, up to 70% of the cost of replacing your light bulbs. Yeah, I know, I see some looks out there. It's amazing, okay? So for instance, in the sewage treatment plant that we have that's down past Arthur Street, down towards the river, annual energy savings on that building would be $2,844. That's annual energy savings. We would be paying $1,185 of $4,000 worth of work. This is Centerpoint's desire to reduce the amount of energy that's needed. It's amazing to me, but, so sewage treatment plant, town hall, for instance, to replace all of these fluorescent tubes in this building, the annual energy savings would be $280. The total cost of replacing them all would be $560, of which CenterPoint will pay $336. It's kind of like a no-brainer. So we've got sewage treatment, town hall, the pole barn down on 3rd Street, and the old fire station, for a total cost to us, to the town, of $2,356. And so I'm going to ask for suspension of the rules and call for a vote for this tonight. I want to ask for a total of $3,000 because I was talking to Jeff about this today, and he said, well, it would be great to get
Sensors.
yeah, motion sensors for especially the big buildings where there are multiple bays that people work in. I guess we have those at the fire station. So I'd call first for a suspension of the rules.
A motion to suspend,
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Okay, and then I want to go ahead and engage because this has to be done by the end of November. I want to engage Dyke Brothers through CenterPoint not to exceed $3,000 for the whole job.
That's your motion.
That's my motion.
A motion for the approval for Dyke Brothers, no more than $3,000 for the replacement of lights and updating of lighting in 4 of our
4 of our
Public.
major properties.
properties. Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Discussion.
My only discussion item is, I don't think the lights have been, is he talking about the big overhead lights at the sewer plant?
Mhm. Yeah, all the lights at the sewer plant.
Well, I don't think any of those have been working for a long time anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And I think it is inclusive of the outside lighting there, which
Mhm.
is,
he went down there, it's all the lighting. And it's all the lighting everywhere. Unfortunately, we've already replaced most of the fire station, so,
Yeah.
you know,
the current fire.
the new one, and the recycling, we've already done that, so, But-
I guess the only reason I asked, it's great, yes, obvious, no brainer, we need to do
right,
that.
right.
But I'm just pointing out, we've never had that sewer plant lit up much at night.
Yeah.
So we go and put the lights up, it's going to go from hardly anything at night, it's
Yeah.
pretty dark down there, to
Yeah.
here's our sewer plant at night. Now, maybe that's good for security reasons,
Well, and
but
like emergency
it's gonna
working
go
and
from no
stuff like
lights
that.
to some lights.
Well, this will all be motion censored too, I mean, this is gonna be
Those
motion
overheads
censored.
will be motion censored too.
He said he can do it all.
He said he could do it all.
Can they be night sky style lights?
Yes, and I gave him information about the dark sky standards on that too. Yeah,
And that's a possibility, or
Mhm. Yes.
we can tell them that?
I've already told him that,
Yeah.
and so once this gets started, we'll look at it again.
We almost spent as much just on the recycle.
I know,
Yeah.
I
You
know.
know,
Well, and I also discussed, as we were going around, I also discussed some of our outdoor lights, like on the old fire station.
mhm.
Those need to be on motion sensors too.
Yeah.
I mean, just for the benefit of the neighbors.
Yeah, we don't want to
Exactly.
light it all up at night.
No, I agree. And I talked to him about that.
At
So
least-
I'll stick with it.
These cost-saving numbers don't include the sensors, which will reduce your usage, you know, when
Even
you're not in a
further.
building, they,
Even
you know, they
further.
go off automatically.
Right.
But the cost does not include the sensors, does it, or does it?
No, that's why I'm
That's why we
asking
added
for
the
3,000.
3,000 includes that.
Gotcha.
The quotes that he gave us are $2,356, and I'm throwing in $644 to take care of the sensors because we talked to him about it. I called him today when we were
May not be that
looking at
much,
these.
That's what
we
So-
I'm-
add that to it,
Gotcha.
for sure. Okay, any other discussion? I think it's a great project. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Tom, for that. Was that all of your?
That was all mine.
Make a motion.
I made the motion.
Connie.
first.
Yeah.
And then second. Okay.
Okay, right.
I got quite a few things to go through, but I'll try to make it fairly quick. First of all, on school update, that project continues to be ongoing. There's really not a whole lot for us to talk about or deal with tonight. That property has been listed now, and I think they plan to put it out for sealed bids, and we'll make sure that we continue to stay in the game and let them know that we are interested in being in the game. Whether or not we end up doing something or not will be left for another day, but that's where that's at, so nothing much to report there. On the water side, you all will remember, and then this started with the prior council. We are updating all of our water meters in town. Every water meter is going to be replaced, and it's going to be with the new meters to where they will be radio read, so you won't have guys walking by reading meters anymore. They'll be able to just drive down the street and it picks up all the readings and everything. That project's been going on for a year. We finally got them. We've got 100 of them now. They have started replacing those. If you've seen Christian out laying flat prostate on the ground with his head in the hole, like I drove by him the other day, I thought, my God, is he alive? I thought he'd fallen or something. Well, he was replacing one of the meters. So that's what's going on there. So we're glad to get that going because that's a real that was part of our technology upgrade of, getting ourselves into the 20th century. So all the meters will be automatically read that way. And that will be a project that will go on here for some time. They'll go as long as they can in the winter, but they're going to get real busy with leaves, and they'll probably have to put it on the back burner, and then it'll be depending on the weather. So that'll go into the spring. Something that we haven't talked much about publicly, but I want to make everybody aware. The federal government and the states are requiring us to do a lead and copper survey. After the problems in Flint, Michigan, we all got concerned about, oh my gosh, is our water being delivered through lead pipes and stuff like that. So there's been a huge initiative, and this has been a really big deal at the federal level, down to the state, now down to us, that we as a municipality had to do a survey of everything on our side of the line. And I'm happy to report on our side of the line, we really have no lead or no problems. Not that we know of. So everything from the meter to our side, we have no lead or copper piping. The next step in this process is going to be on the citizen side. And the federal government is requiring us to do a survey to ask you all, okay, from the meter going into your house, do you have lead, galvanized, or copper piping? This is going to be a deal. We have to send you all notification. We have to send the public notification in the next 30 days. I think by November 15th, you will be getting a letter or something from the town that says, oh, by the way, the question is, do you have any lead coming into your house? There is none on the town side. The question's going to be on your side. The next step of that will be you all giving us that information, because we have to turn that in to this gigantic federal database of whether or not there's lead or stuff. We've started conversations about how we're going to do that because we have our eyes wide open. We know how this works. You get something from water utility, you just chuck it in the can. But we have to have all this information back for every single house in town. So we're having a discussion of how we're going to go about doing that. Of course, you don't know, because guess what? Your pipes are buried too, right? The easiest place to look at that is where that pipe comes into your house. Where it comes in your house somewhere. It comes into the basement, comes into the crawl space, but we're going to have to do that. So this is going to be something ongoing that every municipality in the whole United States is going through. It's particularly difficult for small towns because we have less resources, but you're going to hear more about that. I won't open that up to any questions because I'm not sure I can answer questions on that. Just be aware you're going to get a letter. It's not saying anything other than, oh, by the way, over the course of the next year, we're going to have to figure this out with you because it's your stuff, not ours. The new well we installed is up and running. Everything is good down there, and we've seen no problems with it. Down at the sewer plant, you know, we've got repairs, we've got parts ordered and everything. Long story short, we're still waiting on those parts and everything. We'll probably have parts of that done by the end of the year, but it just takes a long time to get this stuff in. So we've allocated and spent a lot of money, but stuff's not here yet. We talked about the fire hydrants and replacing the last 5 fire hydrants that we have. Those have arrived. There is some question now about the ones that they brought us, whether or not they're right-sized and everything. Jonathan and I had a long talk about that today. Long story short, we're gonna have to do a little more work and make sure we got the right ones here before we start installing. So that may mean this gets pushed to spring. We'll wait and see.
And there will be an update on that, of course, that entails the whole town being shut down with water for probably part of a day anyway,
Yeah.
so
So
we'll just keep you all updated as we move along on that for sure.
kind of a big deal when we do it,
Yeah.
because, you know, we'll have to coordinate with the inn, all the restaurants in town, to make sure they know they're gonna have to go without water. So, we're not anywhere close yet. Well, we're close, but we gotta figure a few things out before we get there. Ann and I have spent some time on the medical renewal for our employees. We've spent some time over the last couple of days. We have looked into the AIM Medical Trust and whether or not that's a decent alternative for us. We had a meeting yesterday. We had a meeting with them on Friday. We had a meeting yesterday with our current agent and the coverage that we currently have with Anthem. We don't have the final numbers back on that yet. Frankly, this is one that we will have to make a decision on between now and the end of the month, though, because if we're gonna go with AIM, we have to be signed up with them by the end of October. We're not ready to come to you tonight and say, okay, here it is, this is what we're looking at, because we don't have all the numbers yet. So this is probably gonna require a special meeting real quick to deal with that.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be too much longer. Technology upgrade, you know, that was the very first ordinance or very first resolution, thank you, that this town council passed about our technology initiative. Just as an update, we have 2 more computers left to be installed. Those are the 18th, is that Friday?
Mhm.
Okay, so they're going to come install Ann's new computer, Anita's new computer on Friday. Remind me, we need to call them about the monitors, because I don't think that included the monitors, and we're definitely gonna wanna get.
Okay.
So you remind me, I forgot to mention that today. So that's gonna happen. Our next step is the billing program, where you can go online and pay your utility bills online. Ann and I have done a little research. When I was at the AIM conference last week, I saw a bunch of those vendors up there. I got their information, brought it back. Ann and I took part of the day yesterday, went through all of those, and that project now is being handed to our clerk treasurer. And she and Anita are going to set up appointments with all these different companies to meet what they do and how they do it and everything, and then kind of come back to us with what their recommendation would be. And she's gonna own that one and happily owns it, and she told us, I'm ready to move on this. So that's encouraging to hear that we're gonna move forward in that regard. She is aware of some of the things we've talked about, that it might be good having one vendor for everything, all the different things we're doing. She's aware, and we talked all that through too. So just FYI, I hadn't had a chance to talk to y'all about that yet.
Would that include like the communications with the public piece? Would it be all
Well,
that?
then, that was my next thing.
Oh,
The
okay,
next
sorry.
thing would be, well, the communications piece. When I was at the AIM conference, at the trade show, there was a vendor there. Matter of fact, he gave one of the presentations, one of the workshops was on communicating with your public. And you know, these are fairly simple, but he does a lot of municipalities here in Indiana. And so I brought all that information. As a matter of fact, that guy has already called Ann about that. And she's got the names of some other ones too, and she's gonna look at those as well. So we're moving forward with that one too. Basically, that's gonna involve you all voluntarily giving us either your cell numbers or your emails, So when we've got something you need to know about, like the water's gonna be down tomorrow, or, we got a water main break, these streets, you can get it isolated down by street. And, so that, we're pretty excited about that, because it's hard for us to communicate with you all without sticking stuff out on Facebook, which is kind of the only way to do it now, so. We're moving forward with that one, and then the last piece of that will be, okay, does that involve doing things here with the website as well? So,
Does that include credit card payments in the office?
Yes, it
In
would.
this part of this, okay, good.
yes, it would.
Good.
And Rod, none of that will be mandatory, right?
No,
Right.
No,
It's
they
just a-
still
It's
pay
just
by
a
check,
new
yeah.
possibility
Yeah.
of how to do things.
that's correct.
Well, and that would include golf cart permits, building
Well,
permits. I
and
mean,
they're,
it'd
and they're
be,
talking about, somehow making sure they integrate into the parks payments and what you guys are trying to do out there. All a big umbrella of, how do we do this stuff online without making people walk in here with a cash or a check?
Can I say something?
Sure, you may.
So we'll look to see if it's all unified where it can be, but it'll probably be modules that you'll pick up one, get it settled, pick up the next, get it settled. So it may not be flip a switch and that's all on.
okay,
Okay.
And from a security standpoint, we did that first. We got that locked down going through the state, and then that'll be a part of her picking the vendors and make sure that's all there.
That's great.
My last thing is, and this just happened late this afternoon, I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys. This is an emergency deal, so we don't need to vote on it. Our gas locator quit working today. It's been wonky. They told me we have to keep putting batteries in it. We put new batteries in it, it seems fine. But if they get called in on an 811 locate to go do the gas locate, it quit working today. So they had one that they were on, and they were having to use probes, and they may have had to dig to find the line to get it marked. But Jonathan is on it. He's talked to people, and hopefully we'll have one within the next couple of days. Those things cost about, he's guessing, somebody told him about $8,000. We don't have a choice, so, that's an emergency spending. To get it ordered and get it here as fast as you can, so.
That's
In the
great.
meantime, if we have to do a gas locate, they're gonna have to go find it the old-fashioned way. So just wanted you to know that will show up on the docket sometime that we spent that, but I want you to be aware of it. Oh, sorry. My last thing. My last thing. I'm gonna make a statement here, and I think it's time, and in going to the conference just got me even more convinced. I felt this way ahead of time, but I think it's time that we have somebody like Baker Tilly, who is a financial consultant to municipalities, come in and talk to us about the budgeting process, talk to us about, what percentage of our funds should be invested, what percentage of our funds should we have in reserve, just the whole, how do we set up redevelopment districts, and how do we do TIFs? All of that stuff that we've heard bits and pieces of, we know we probably should know more about it. In even the budgeting process, we know, okay, we're doing what we have to do statutorily, but, we probably need to do more long-term 5-year budgeting to where we project what our revenues are gonna be, so we can do some capital planning and stuff like that. In my mind, that's where we're lacking. And if we have somebody like Baker Tilly come in, I'm pretty sure they would come in and talk to us about stuff without charging us anything. And then, of course, once they convince us we need to do some stuff, they'll wanna, okay, we can help you with this, we can help you with this. But I think it's important that we get somebody in here to talk to us about all this stuff. So we
We've
don't
talked
need,
about
we
that
don't need a
before.
vote on this, but
Yeah.
with y'all's permission, I might, get a hold of EREP and say, okay, who's our local Baker Tilly person here, and set up a special meeting where they can come in and sit down with us and go through all that stuff.
Just for an open dialogue discussion.
Sure,
on
just,
it.
not spending any money, just come in, okay, tell us
What
what
can
you
you do?
do,
Yeah.
here's
Yeah.
kind of what we look like, and, this
And
is what these people do.
For good reason, because this town board hasn't had a set way to do
That's
these
correct.
things, as we've talked about before. And part of the reason is because we had a town treasurer for 30 years here that was doing a lot of that for every town board that came through. And
I think
it's
we
a
should-
good time to change that and for us to know what's going on as well, you know.
So if anybody feels differently, you can talk to me after the meeting. Otherwise, Jeff and I talked about it today. He said, look, I think it's a good idea, but if anybody feels differently, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just call them and say, all right, when can you come see us?
I'm good with it.
Promise, that's all I have.
Okay. I think I see your name on the list a few more times. Okay, moving on next to, well, I guess me, only thing I really wanted to say was the second flock camera is up out by the fire department. It has been up for a couple of weeks and in operation, I think at least a couple of weeks, maybe 3. I was gone a couple of weeks. But there have been significant amounts of hits on it, you know, nothing detrimental, thank God, you know, but there have been some arrests made from them. So it's working anyway. So I just want to report that. And we, of course, have our new town marshal. Everybody, if you haven't met him, introduce yourself when you have a chance. And his wife back there is with him. But he's learning. We're all learning together. We've never had to hire a town marshal and never had to figure out how to operate that way either with a new one. But we're getting there, aren't we, Jonathan? We're working on it. So, and I appreciate him and what he's doing for us. So that's really all I have on that, on my end. So, okay, next will be open forum. Chance for everybody to speak on anything they'd like and try to keep it to a minute and we'll get back to you if you have any questions. Okay.
I'm Jane Colley, I'm president of Harmony Associates, and I just wanted to follow up on what Tom was saying about the pickets at Playtopia. They do look really, really nice. We're still taking orders on any pickets that are already today. It'll be a little while before we get them because we have to wait till we get a certain amount of orders before we can contact the company. But if you're interested in it, you haven't done it yet, there are forms here at the town hall. You can just come up here, fill it out. It's $35 a picket. You can personalize them, anything that is not obscene. So.
Thank you.
No comments about town council.
Yeah, all right. Jeannie?
Hi, I'm Jeannie Maudlin, I'm the president of the Parks Board. Tom, just wanted you to know, Andy and I went to Murphy last night. All the lights are done.
We came back and did them.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all
Good.
done.
He
Great.
didn't
there
even
you have
contact
it.
me. Great.
That's great to hear.
Great.
Anybody?
Jean Karas, just a question about the utility bills. Will it be made so that it can also be direct deposited out of our checking?
I think it's already that way now. You can do that now. Yeah, you can
Direct
do that now.
deposit? Oh, I didn't
That's my
realize that.
understanding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I didn't know that even my mother-in-law does it. So. But, yeah, I mean,
What it is you
direct
go
payment
into-
from your
direct
bank. It's
payment.
direct payment through your bank.
Not direct, yeah, not
Not
direct
direct
deposit, direct
deposit.
You
payment.
go in and
Direct
say,
payment.
Yeah,
yeah, you
direct
go in and
payment.
tell your bank, I want to send a check to the town of New Harmony, and it'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, through your checking, like Heritage
Oh,
Federal,
yeah.
you can go pay your bill online and it'll send them a check.
Okay. Does it have to be done every month, or is it?
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because your bill changes every month.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, see,
Well-
I wanted a direct
Yeah.
withdrawal like
Yeah.
my other things, is what I'm saying.
I think that would be through your bank, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think that would be through your bank.
You almost have to have the bill.
Yeah.
As,
Yeah, I
can't do
don't,
that.
yeah, I don't know
That's all
about that.
my question
Yeah.
was.
As Anita pointed out, I got your back, Anita. If you're gonna do that, make sure you put your account number in the memo line.
Yeah,
We can't match it up.
Yeah,
'Cause there's
so,
no
you know,
mandate.
when I pay mine online down the memo line, on your bill, it's gonna have your account number, put that on there. Otherwise, she's gonna get your check and go,
I was wondering if it would be automatic like my other bills, like for
Right.
example, my bill for, electricity, it's
Yeah.
automatic. My bill for my Wi-Fi
Well,
is
that changes every
automatic.
month, so it should.
yeah.
I don't know.
We'll look
I
into
I
don't know
don't,
yet.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
check
talk to
more
them
on
yet.
that. I'm not sure on that, yeah.
Just to follow up on that question, our, whoever it is that takes over some of the technology stuff, that should be a requirement, should be built into an agreement that we can have automatic payment.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's something you gotta do every month.
One more thing, yeah.
And I don't think it shouldn't be the responsibility of the bank.
Yeah, and I don't know, I said that, but
Well,
speaking
that's
out,
something.
not knowledgeable.
It's good
That's
to-
what we're working on. That's why we got groups that are coming in to do it for us, and that may be very possible. That's what can happen. Am I right? I mean, that's,
Oh,
yeah, oh, his name,
Charles
Charles Bailey.
Yeah, when you speak, leave your name, please.
Sorry about
That's,
that.
anybody? Yes, Joe?
I'm Joe Bryant, and I had the occasion to use the restroom at the park the other day. It was cold out, I drank coffee and was in the car, and, I said, oh, okay, I'll run in there. Well, I got in there and the light came on. Well, then you go in the stall, and then it goes out. And I could not see my hand in front of my face. Now, I see a little child running from the playground, having to go to the bathroom and stuck in there and can't find the door to get out. So I think maybe it needs a.
The motion sensor may have an adjustment.
Yeah, I mean, I went like this with the hands on the motion, with, they can come back on, it did not.
Okay. Thanks for
Tom,
making
that's
us aware of that.
Write that down on your list, buddy.
Well, it wasn't our system that we put in.
Waving to everybody.
Thank
I'm
you for
kidding.
Unless
saying.
they put it in the wrong time.
Anybody else? Okay.
Deborah Johnson, this is for Ron. I just have a question about, when we had the meeting about the possible purchase of the school and the town was going to be awarded the $200,000 for leftover COVID money from the county. And I thought the deadline was like October 30th.
We have signed that agreement with them, so that is secured.
Oh. So-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a interagency agreement and they asked us to go ahead and sign. Now, that doesn't mean that we're committed to buy the school.
Sure.
It means that they are committed to give us the money.
Thank
So
you.
that part we have passed.
By the end of the year, maybe they can make you
I need to read it.
I'm not sure. Anybody else? All right, we'll close the public forum. Thank you all. All right, next up on old business would be the REA comprehensive plan. Councilman.
Yeah, I was very pleased how the week went. We had over 300 people participating in the 2 public workshops and the focus groups. That's pretty good for a town of 700 people. The things that they're immediately going to work on are re-establishing, determining the outer boundaries of the town, the incorporated town. They are starting to look at the zoning and the inconsistencies in the code. There's a lot, and they're still in the formulation stage, so nothing you saw, if you went to the workshops, nothing you saw is written in stone yet. And they put a lot of the stuff online, so the New Harmony Plan website is active, and they have some of the summaries from the workshops on there right now. And I would tell you that the surveys, if you know people that haven't done it yet, the 18th is your last day to fill out a survey online, or you can come in and get a paper one if you need. But, and I can't tell you the numbers of people that have filled those out yet, I don't know that. But I think a lot of people are. I heard back from some of the steering committee members that they tried to get people, they tried to give them paper ones, and they had already done it online. So I'm encouraged by it. I think we're getting good feedback. It's all good, I think.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for the update. Okay, next, Councilman Clark on the promotions for.
No, approval of the budget.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did skip over one. I apologize. Next up is for the board is the approval of the 2025 Town of New Harmony budget. We've had our public meeting for ourselves to go through this, work through it. We've had our open public forum with the public last month. Now it's time to ratify the budget for 2025. Do I have a motion to accept the budget as presented?
I move we accept and submit the budget presented for 2025.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor of approval?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, but it is passed. Thank you. Now, next we have the,
Gotcha. As you know, we had our executive meeting where we discussed replacing Brian with a new superintendent of our utilities. I would like to formally submit that Jonathan Weber be approved as our utilities superintendent. We talked a little bit about salary. We talked about in that position, starting him at $25 an hour. We talked about that once he finished his water certification, that our intention was to take him to $28.50, and which would put him where Brian was at. And then once he got his OQ, that we would,
What is OQ?
OQ is operator qualified for gas, meaning you're qualified for gas. Thank you. Okay, so what has happened is this. Since then, we have found out Jonathan has completed all of his requirements for the gas side. So he is a certified gas operator. He's received his certification there. He hasn't completed the water yet. He'll be taking those classes. He'll be taking those tests here in a few weeks. But so our intention was $28.50 when he got the water, and then we'll talk about something more whenever he completes the OQ. Instead, he's got the OQ and not the water. So because of that, I would recommend that we go ahead and take him to the $28.50. So I would make a motion that Jonathan Weber be promoted to our utility superintendent at a rate of $28.50.
okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion?
He's been doing a great job so far.
Yeah.
He has.
This young guy is on it. I mean, I've called him 3 times and to ask him about something to be done, and each time he said, yeah, I already did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really impressed.
Yeah. He's
I
doing
think
a
there's
great
a lot
job.
of upside to Jonathan, for
Yeah.
sure.
He is young, he's inexperienced, but the wonderful thing about Jonathan, he knows it. And he wants to cover that. So, we right up front told him, boy, you're pretty young and you're inexperienced. He said, I know that. And he said, I'm gonna have to depend on other people. That's why we still have Bobby Grinder on our payroll as a consultant to him. And of course, we have Farrar there on the water and the sewer. And I have had long discussions with him. You cannot hesitate to call these people. Never ever be embarrassed if you don't know something. You got to know. So I echo what Tom said. I think he's doing a great job so far.
And both of the guys, or all the guys that work with him now under him,
Yeah.
are in agreement that
And
he's.
we don't have this on the agenda, but for the public, we plan on hiring one more to replace that other position. So we're working on it.
And that's been advertised.
That's been advertised, yes. Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, sir. All right, next up, the Mel K
Put 'em
proposal.
in your box.
Would
Hold
you
on,
go
hold
get
on.
them for me, please?
I'll take the elm tree while we're waiting for that.
Well, she got to take notes, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we have an elm tree that is right here on the corner. That is, we've gotten 2 opinions that it needs to come down. It's been losing big limbs last year. We already know that we have some leaks in the roof in this building. So the cost estimate from Wabash Valley is $2,600. Tom and I met with Jim Brown here and looked at it. So,
Was that 25?
26.
26, thank you.
So I want to make a motion that we go ahead and approve this expenditure.
Motion to do away with the elm tree behind Town Hall here for a price of $2,600 with Mr. Brown's for, and a second. Any discussion?
It's a big tree. We hate to lose this tree. Cut it down 2 years ago and postponed it, but it's there now and it's dangerous. And we have to, unfortunately.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Fine with it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. All right, Ryan, we'll
Uh,
jump back to Mel K.
Okay, whenever we had, the last work that we did on the sewer plant, where we had the skirting that we had to replace, the company that did that was Melkay, was the name of the engineering firm that did the work. We approved that project because their estimate was $68,292. We approved that number. Their final number, because they had extra work and overtime they had to do, was $72,481.61. So we need to approve that additional expenditure. Work's already been done, not sure we have choice, but we need to approve that additional expenditure. So we're talking about $4,200 and some odd dollars over what we originally passed.
All right, is that a motion?
That is a motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second on the
I'll
approval? Okay, motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor? All opposed, I'm sorry. Motion carries. All right, next we have,
Big meter.
big meters, yeah.
So whenever the old council, the last council approved the purchase of all the new water meters that are going to be radio read and everything, one thing we did not approve was the replacement of what we refer to as the big meters in town. Those big meters are the service for the state park, the nursing home, the auditorium, the conference center, the inn, the Red Geranium, the Athenaeum, the Granary, the Ford Home, and Prager Farms. Those are bigger meters because there's a lot more use. I don't know about Prager Farms anymore, but anyhow. Jonathan is saying, look, some of those don't read. Some of them are totally don't even read. You guys got this, I think.
Yes.
Some of them don't read. Some of them read only half the time, so they got to go out and physically get down the hole, read the numbers and everything. He said, yeah, let's replace them, let's get it done. Okay, these are bigger meters, so they cost some money, but the total for utility supply on replacing all of those meters is $26,141. I would recommend that we go ahead and spend that and get these replaced while we're going through.
And this is only the 7 malfunctioning ones, right? Because I see there's
8. There's 8 there, Tom.
2, 3.
Oh, wait a minute, the last one is antenna assembly.
Yeah, there was 7.
You are correct, it's for the 7.
Okay. So we're not going to replace the ones that are operating okay, like at State Park and
1, 2,
Red
3,
Geranium.
4, 5, 6. That is correct.
Okay.
So we have a motion to approve. Did
We have a motion to
second?
approve the expenditure of $26,141.
Wasn't discussion.
No, that's okay. That's all
For the 7 meters.
right. All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second. Now we have discussion. If there is any other.
Sorry.
I was gonna ask, no, that's okay. Why is, what was the deal with Fragrant Farms? Why did you say it's no longer on there?
No, I threw something out that I tried to pull back.
Okay, well, I just saw it on the list.
I was just curious why Fragrant Farms needs a big meter, because I don't think they use as much water anymore.
Well, they were on the list. I don't know why. That's what I
They
was.
might be,
They don't have big.
But
Oh, it's on the list I have, but, okay. Okay.
yeah, it's the last.
It's not on the quote, though. You are correct. So, for sure. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, by aye. All opposed. All right, motion carries for that as well. Thank you, Robert.
If I may, radio read for gas meters, I put this on the agenda because I thought we were gonna have it ready to be approved tonight, but we don't. So, John, okay, so one of the things that we were talking about, okay, we're changing all these water meters over to radio read. Why aren't we doing the gas meters at the same time? That way, when they're on the property replacing the water meters, they can just go over and take care of the gas meter as well. The old council, back when this was all approved, we chose not to do the gas at that time. We thought, especially with Jonathan, Jonathan's like, no, look, I'd rather just do this all at once. That way we get them all done while we're out there doing them. I thought we were going to have that quote back, and I was going to have all the numbers. Jonathan had a little bit of misunderstanding. He thought we were going to replace the entire meters. I said, no, not the gas meter. We're not going to replace them all. We're just going to replace the readers. he said, well, a lot of the gas meters are fine and don't need replaced, but we do have some that are 40, 50 years old. So he's going to go back and we're gonna redo this. He's gonna like do an inventory of the meters that are maybe more than 30 years old. We'll replace those meters. The rest of them will just do the readers. So there's no action to be taken here because we don't have our act together yet. So we'll do this next month. That's okay. Now, if anybody got any questions on that, fire away, but.
Well, so what you're saying is just replacing the meters will allow them to do it digitally, electronically?
No, okay, I think you get mixed up between meter and reader, okay? The
Okay.
reader, okay, so your gas meter, has a little, little turn,
thing.
little
Yeah.
thing at the top where they
Yeah.
read the numbers.
Right,
To put the reader in, you basically unscrew that, you pull that out, you put the reader in, you put that back on, screw it on, and then the radio reads the dials, and
so that will become.
that
we
we will do everywhere.
Okay, okay.
That we will
That's
do
what I wanted to
everywhere.
make
The
sure.
question
Some of them we
is,
need to
how
replace.
many of the meters, the thing down below, the
thing.
big
Okay.
thing,
The whole
do we want to go ahead and replace while we're doing that?
Okay,
Gotcha.
Gas meters, here's something I learned. Gas meters really don't wear out. We got gas meters that are 50 years old. But, his point is, and my point is, well, if they're 40, 50 years old, we probably need to replace them. And so,
Okay,
he's
That's
put the
good.
numbers together for next month.
good deal.
This will save us money in the long run
Yeah.
as well.
Well, it'll save us money because we haven't got to read meters anymore.
Yeah, well, that's
Exactly.
a lot of their job.
Okay, next we have event permit for Christmas in New Harmony, represented by Robin Lewis is here tonight. Robin, I'll go ahead and read your permit application. Title event, of course, is Christmas in New Harmony, description of proposed activity, parades, vendors, food trucks, music, children's area, sponsors, One New Harmony. President Laura Arnberg represents, Robin Lewis, chair of the Christmas in New Harmony. Responsible for compliance and application is Robin Lewis. The date of the event is 12/7, start time at 9 a.m., end time 12/8 at 5 p.m. Expected number of spectators, 10,000. The route and location of the parade Saturday morning, I believe 10:30, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin. They have a map of that. Of course, it starts on Steam Mill, line up on Steam Mill, travels down Main Street, turns right on Church Street, and then back around down Brewery and ends back up out right there where they started and disperses there. So she does have her map here locating that. Food trucks and stuff have the map of those locations. Types of animals, number and types of animals, the horses in the parade, and horses and carriages, and the petting zoo has 8 animals in it. So, and
what
then
are they?
I don't know. It doesn't say what you'll have to ask Rob. Maybe a camel and stuff.
Camel,
Like that. I don't know.
donkeys, and that's what's in my name.
Okay, entities to benefit from the anticipated income is all the vendors, shop owners, restaurants. Any proceeds for Christmas in New Harmony is put into the festival for expenses. Sanitation facilities will be public restrooms at the Ribera Gym, community house, restaurants, shops, and one porta potty at the parade route. And then list of provisions for crowd noise and traffic control. Myself and Jim Spain have volunteered to help with the street closures, removal of barricades and stuff like that. And the town marshal will be on standby for this as far as the street closures and stuff. And the provisions for parking, loudspeaker placement. New speakers will be used for Saturday morning parade at the Ribera at the Ribera, and Christmas music will be played from the towers. And Robin, is there anything you would like to add? And there is also a permit here, which along with that for the carriage and the horses and their insurance stuff is here, so.
I would just like to qualify a little bit about the petting zoo. It is self-contained in a bus. It's a converted bus and vehicles are actually in there. So
Cool.
we don't have to worry about grass being trampled and stuff. It's our first year to try this. So the other thing is, in the past, it's been a problem because of the line for Santa. has been so long that the kids, after about an hour of waiting, they won't wait anymore. So this year, Santa is going to be outside the WMI in Candyland, walking around, and we're going to have some other costume characters also walking around. So we found that because we are putting so much effort into the Candyland for the kids, more and more people are coming to our festival. I put the number 10,000 down, but last year Michael Gard said we had over 15,000 people. And I know if you were here, you know everybody kept saying, where'd all these people come from? So anyway, we're concentrating on the kids area, but adding more food trucks too. So does anybody have any questions or anything? I mean, that's.
Nope.
All right, all our information is here. Yeah, thank you. I noticed even where the street closures are that Robin and her committee got signed letters with approval of those people that are affected by the street closures or that live there have signed off on it as well. That's a great thing to do, I think, as well. So
I move we approve.
got a motion to approve the festival event permit. Motion and second, any discussion?
Well, I just really appreciate Robin. Ever since she has started this event, it's been amazing.
Huge
and,
success. Gets better every year.
Yeah.
I didn't, is the house tour on here? Is there a house tour?
Pardon me?
There's a homes tour?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
And I will say that Historic Harmony is providing the tram this year. So it will circle just around, it's for the house tour guests,
Oh, good.
and it will be picking up and dropping off at each house for
That's
the
nice.
afternoon, so we
Very
don't
nice.
have those parking problems. We have a couple houses on Church Street where there's no parking, and I was concerned about that. So anyway, thanks to Historic, we got that problem taken care of.
Thank you, thank you. Can you reel off those houses real quick? Can you?
The gnome contest is definitely happening. We have people who come from all over every year. I'm sorry, the house is okay. What used to be the artist's cottage, Dr. Rathbone, Lisa Castleberry now owns beside Pete Campbell's, where C.C. Lubecki used to live, but Paula Butler lives now. It's a two-story gray. The David Lynn's house, the Martha and John Wilkinson's home, and Margaret and Charles Bandy's home, which is behind the
Wilson's
Bill
building.
Theater, behind Wilson's.
Right, nice.
And I think they said it used to be a dentist office, across from WMI.
Right, good.
Donald's sister's house.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody knows it by something else.
Right. That sounds great. Sounds awesome. We look forward to it. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. All right, and then the last thing on the list here was for Fall Cleanup Day is October 25th. And a reminder, it's for your local household goods that you normally can't get rid of, not for your whole house. If you're leaving town, don't leave us with all of that sitting out on the street, okay?
Let's say it's a week of Saturday.
That is a Friday, normal trash day, but I think they say not before Wednesday to start putting it out for the other folks that like to go pick up junk on the side of the road. Okay, all right, that's good. And next we have the approval of the claims. I have a motion.
I move we approve.
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion on that? Or any discussion? All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We set a record. And a second, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Got you out in time.
Yes, sir.